Greetings everyone, this is LiminalityCarb. It's time for us to tackle some geo-dungeons. As I mentioned last episode, this map directly above Gail's head shows you where all of the geo-dungeons are. The first one we're going to head down to is the one at the bottom there in Pancello. And since we unlocked teleportation, let's go make use of that. So we're just going to head right on over to France, having a weird change of music, but head into this left teleporter, and we are going to be in Pancello, and flop. So, that can happen sometimes when you teleport. Gail gets a little disoriented and, lightheaded and just kind of passes out. Anyway, the Pancello Geo Dungeon is just to the southwest of that Franway. And we could have been here earlier, but until we learned the song, it would have been pointless, because we could not open that gate. Now then, this Geo Dungeon is musical Sudoku, as it says. Each note can only occur once in a row, once in a column, and once in a group of colors. This room only uses 4 notes. So, I'm going to put up basically the way that you end up solving this puzzle. You just go ahead and do the things that are shown here, and then in the end, the solution is down, right, left, center. Next room, it's the same thing, only this time there are now 5 notes per row, column, and color group. Again, this right here is how you would go about trying to actually determine what the solution is. But once you figure it out, you see that the answer is center, down, left, up, right. And this one is just the same. Again, it is just go ahead and go through this solution. And after you've gone through and done all these steps, you end up getting to the solution of right, up, down, center, left. And thus, we have cleared this first Geo Dungeon for this episode. Hooray! Congratulations on completing the Geo Challenge! You're visitor number 1 to this location. That's right, the very first! Here is your ticket. Visit the nearest Geobase to redeem it for prizes. This is our recently constructed Geo House. I've been staring at the door excitedly for the past 2 months to greet the first visitor. I was getting worried that maybe the local population had vanished or something. About that. Those concerns have been alleviated now that you've arrived. Spread the word. We're open for business. Yeah. About your fear. That's kind of what happened. Also, can't go back through that door, unfortunately. Next up, there's actually a geo puzzle in the bridge that goes east-west. So, we're going to head over there. Now that we're at the South Castilla Bridge, I can't pronounce this bridge properly, we need to actually head on over, and not fall, to where we actually freed Fran the first time we were here. The Geo Dungeon we're looking for is actually directly below here. Sorry for that pause, had to deal with some outside noises. As I was saying, the Geo Dungeon is right here. So just spam the song and head on in. This Geo Dungeon is all about using boxes to press switches in water. First one, just getting you an idea of how this dungeon's going to go. This one, however, you have to be careful. If you notice, this upper box is already damaged. If it falls too far, it'll break, and you won't have enough boxes to actually hit that switch. So that's why I pushed that first box under it. But just push all the boxes, they weigh themselves down, or weigh each other down, and we get through. Next, we have some areas of different water levels, and 4 boxes. So it'll take 2 wooden boxes to fill this middle and left button, and we won't be able to really get any wooden boxes down to that rightmost one. So, as you can probably surmise, the idea is, well, don't let the box break too badly, but you're going to end up using the metal boxes on the side all the way to the right, all the way to the right, and wooden boxes will need to stack on each other. You don't necessarily actually have to have it be the middle box, or the middle area, whereas you put the wooden boxes. That's just what ends up happening with me. But push the metal box all the way to the far right, and it ends up sinking all the way. Now we push these both down. Push that to get over there. Push you out of my way. And now we have this one open. And we've completed our second Geo Dungeon. Well, third overall. Congratulations on completing the Geo Challenge! You're visitor number 423 to this location. Here is your ticket. Visit the nearest Geobase to redeem it for prizes. You're the first visitor I've received since the bridge's destruction by Ouroboros. It's a good thing the bandits didn't find this place, because I have been authorized to defend myself using whatever means necessary. I would have used my groveling and pleading. Humans are susceptible to such displays. Yep, so, if the Ouroboros came here, he was just gonna grovel and plead that they left him alone. Our next Geo Dungeon is actually going to be in the Kingdom Bridge, which is the north-south one. However, before we go there, we're going to make a quick pit stop at Atai to talk to Birdy and Zeke, because we should actually be able to make more progress on their side quests now. Alright, Birdy and Zeke, let's see what you two are up to. Let's talk to Birdy first. They made us clean the Pookie stalls. I never knew Pookie could produce so much poop. I think some of it got on me somehow. Do I smell?
You know, boss, I've suddenly got a hankering for loon fruit. If you happen to have some when you next drop by, I'd appreciate it.
Well, while we were in Moonlight Ravine, we did pick up 2 pieces of loon fruit. So yeah, here you go, Zeke.
Thanks for the loon fruit, boss. Here, Birdie, take this. Should get your mind off the stink.
Thank you. You're both being oddly nice to me.
It's the least I could do. I might have thrown some Pookie droppings on you earlier.
That was you? I hate you.
With this, maybe Birdie can give the angry eyes a rest. It's tiring to be feuding all the time. I'm ready to let bygones be bygones.
We were enemies for a week. Ouroboros is forever.
I'm not so sure about that last part.
This is actually my favorite scent. I used to be afraid of the dark when I was a kid, so my mother would hang a loon fruit above my head, or above my bed. Its warm light and calming scent would lull me right to sleep.
Did you know Birdie snores?
You lie! Alright, well, to get the next part, we actually have to, unfortunately, leave Atai, and then come right back. That is why I missed this last time I was here. I didn't realize I had to leave the entire city and then come back before they progressed. I wonder how my friends are doing. Do they still think of me?
Oh, yeah, boss. Hey, can I ask you for a favor? All the guards talk at Draketail like it's the most amazing delicacy.
Don't do it, Zeke.
Or what? They'll exile me? Since we're both exiled, we may as well live a little. I'll take that scowl to mean you're also curious. Please, boss, 2 cooked Draketails.
Well, we just happen to have some in our inventory already. From, I don't remember how long ago I ended up cooking those Draketails at this point.
You brought us cooked Draketails? Thank you, boss. Oh, it's so good!
Is it really?
It's okay if I eat your portion, right?
No, it's not! Give it here! Oh my gosh! What have I been missing out on?
See? What'd I tell you? I can't go back after this. I've missed out on too much. I'll do it. I'll become a hedonist.
In jail? Good luck with that. It's so tasty. I suppose eating drake tails isn't a problem so long as the tail is responsibly sourced. Drakes are known to drop their tails as a defense, as an escape mechanism. They can grow it back.
I always thought it must be delicious if drakes would gnaw on their own tails.
I didn't realize the drakes both could drop it like other lizards, and that they eat their own tails. Huh? Well, I'm going to talk to Zeke first, because he looks asleep. And, yeah, he is apparently asleep. Good timing. Zeke is asleep. I've been wanting to speak to you privately. You've been nice to me. I don't know why. But Rule 8 of the Ouroboros Code states, repay your debts. I'll tell you what I know of my client, the kobold named Katash.
Sure, let's hear about the kobold.
The first time Katash appeared before me, it was in a flash of light. I thought he might have been an angel, but his face told me otherwise. He had all this advanced technology, a sword of light, a gun that shoots fiery missiles. It made me question how much I knew of the world. He said his group was on an important mission and that the world we knew would soon change. They were looking for something hidden in our world. It was absolutely essential that their search be carried out in secret. And so he wanted my group to stir up trouble, to draw attention. He offered me a deal. If I helped him, I could rise high in the world to come.
That's a little ominous there.
And he would even put in a good word for me to his master. And the way he spoke of his master, it was like he was describing an absolute divine being. Having seen Katash's power firsthand, I thought I'd better get on the good graces of this master while I had the chance. If I didn't take it, someone else surely would. I even tried to rope Zeke in on it. Ouroboros Rule 5, always seize an opportunity. To help me out, Katash implanted this device on the Great Drake, made it all docile and tame. It's his idea that I target the bridges. I was awaiting further instructions, and then, well, you happened. It all feels like a dream now. I met him but once. Perhaps I was just a pawn in his scheme. So, yeah. There's a little bit more going on with the Ouroboros than we were originally under the impression of. We now need to be on the lookout for this Katash fellow. And his master. And they're no longer in the cells. So, let's talk to the guard. Hey, if you're wondering about the Ouroboros duo, they've been sent to the guillotines. They asked me to give you this. And we got a heart rupee. But unfortunately, Birdy and Zeke have been sent to the guillotines and thus are probably not going to show up ever again because guillotines means they're probably being beheaded. Next up, we're going to head on to the north side of the Kingdom Bridge, the Dea side. So we just head on south from the Lake Laboratory Geo Club, and then we are at the Kingdom Bridge. We can enter here, and there are some other things that we'll do here later as well, but our goal for right now is to cross the oddly intact side of this bridge to make our way over, and we'll talk to this guy before we head over to that Geo dungeon. With the bridge in this condition, I doubt anyone will attempt crossing. So what's the point of having me stationed here? Ah well, as long as I get paid, I'm not complaining. This free time gives me a chance to think more about the stuff my little nephew asks me. Hey, at least you're making use of your time. But head on out and then down here, and we get to the Songstone part of the Geo dungeon. But unfortunately, it opens on the other side, so we now need to go climb all around. We're also going to go ahead and take a look down here because, well, there's a chest with some Rin, which, again, money's always nice. And if we break open this, we have a mouse appear that, just like lizards, will just give you some mystery meat. But in this crate, we get some saffron milk and uncooked drake tail. But to actually get to the geo dungeon that we opened, like I said, we need to now cross all the way over again, because we need to get underneath this bridge, and because this side's intact, the only way to get underneath is by actually going into the guard tower. Just head on over, ignore the fish for now, because these fish are just normal fish, but remember that, well, actually see it, that there's those blocks, blow them up, free amber for us, so that'll be nice for a recycler. And now we have access to this geo dungeon. This one, if you notice, as I walk through the water, the door starts to go open. So, effectively, this is try to find the switches in water and then push crates on top of them. This actually is going to require a little bit of listening. For this one, the switches are basically just outside of these, so pick this one up and listen as you push. There you go. It just made that crunch noise, so it's on the switch. And then we can push this one without listening, because there's only 2 switches in that room. This room is a little interesting. You would think that you pull this way, but there's actually a switch in that corner. So you want to push that one all the way over there. In addition, we just hit a switch, but the thing's not open. That's because there are actually 3 switches in this room. So you need to stand on one and then sprint roll to get underneath that door in time. But with that, we've got yet another Geo Dungeon down. Congratulations on completing the Geo Challenge! You're visitor 639 to this location. Here's your ticket. Visit the nearest Geo base to redeem it for prizes. You're the first visitor I've received since the bridge's destruction by the Ouroboros. It's a good thing the bandits didn't find this place. You know, just like the Geo Dungeon and the other bridge. Because I have been authorized to defend myself using whatever means necessary. Well, the other guy was groveling and pleading. What is your defense mechanism? And I think my titanium fist could probably do some decent damage. He was going to actually get fight with them. Well, our next Geo Dungeon is actually between the Lake Laboratory and Thomas's lab. It's that weird building that we kind of skipped over a few times. Into the unknown named area, and we have some people here we can talk to. Hi, are you Geo member 2? Feel free to go in first. I'm still planning my course of action. I should warn you, this Geo challenge is super difficult. From what I've gathered so far, it's something to do with lining the boxes up with the patterns on the wall. Then you hit the switch. Now, where I'm stuck is how you actually move those huge metal boxes. So, yeah. He's going to have some difficulty moving. Also, I see you there, Mr. Planto. We'll talk to you in just a second. Ah, good old nature. It was worth the hike from the city just to see this peaceful cabin. And I'm not just saying that because I can't figure this puzzle out. Alright, sure. Well, let's talk to him. This place is pretty. The one who maintains it must be a kindred entity. We meet again. You find me in good cheer today. Fetch me 5 food units, please. The soil is off balance here. I can't work my magic when the soil is off balance. Well, I've been carrying 5 just for this guy. Received. As pretty as these flowers are, watch my flower sprouts. They shall pale in comparison. That's what happens when you go against the pro. In any case, thank you. Receive this as payment. And we got 20 Rin. But, time to actually take on this Geo challenge. I was going a little too fast there. Anyway, as the guy outside said, this puzzle is you line up these metal crates with those outlines, and then you hit the switch to verify. You don't have to have it be perfectly lined up with them, thankfully. Like, it just has to be close enough. Like, as you can see there, I have that outer edge not covered at all, but it's close enough for the verification. Now is where we actually get to the puzzle portion of this. So, the idea is you basically need to make sure things drop properly. Some of these need to stack on each other, others just need to fall. Thankfully, it's still not all that difficult. It's just going to require some back and forth and hitting that switch multiple times. So we're going to move this over here, jump up and hit that without meaning to, but you know what? It worked. Bring you in between, hit it the same way. And now, as you can see, this small one just fills that little gap right there. And I'm just going to head on over, hit that, and this one should be done. Now the last one, which is a little bit trickier. This one I'm actually going to have to sit down for a second to remember. Okay, I think I remember the basics. I want you here to start. I'm going to want one of you down here as well. Move these big ones out of the way. Realize I'm about to trap myself if I do this. Alright. I can still do this properly. Move you here. Now we move this thing under. So, as a note, each of these tall boxes is 3 squares... Well, let's fix that. Is 3 squares big. So, to get anything taller than that, you do need to stack things. But it's really, again, not all that difficult. Next thing that we're actually going to do is, well, I guess we'll do this one next, so that everything else is on the right side. Hit this, drop you down, and what goes into that middle column will be both of these smaller boxes. Now, I am sure there's a more efficient way to actually get all these down properly. This is... Okay. I need to do a little bit of minor adjustment here. Move you. There we go. Move you. And now it fell down properly. Yeah, so you do need to be a little bit careful if you're trying to drop things right down into the center. Because if they don't fall perfectly, they'll stack weirdly and then you won't get what you actually need out of them. But let's hit this. And as you can see, that last box just nicely fills that remaining spot. Hit it. And that should be good enough. Give us some verification. And like all these geo puzzles, it's basically do 3 puzzles of this style and you're done. You're visitor 1556 to this location. Here's your ticket. Please visit the nearest geobase to redeem it for prizes. I had the honor of seeing the Geo Head recently. For us, Geo Golems, it's a big deal. The last time she visited was when her father was still the Geo Head. She was but a wee tot then. Feels like it was just 19 years, 3 months, and 17 days ago. So yeah, Georgia is either in her late 20s? Late 20s. Yeah, no, late 20s or like late 20s to early 40s at the latest is what I'd say based off of that. But we've now completed all the Geo Dungeons that we have access to. Before we actually head back, I'm gonna luck out and get it immediately. So, if you are in the grassy area to the left or west of the antique shop, or really, this can even be done in the grassy areas to the west of Thomas's, you get this encounter with 3 Ouroboros. Take care of the Ouroboros woman, and you get yourself that moonstone. Now, let's go turn in our 5 Geo tickets. 5 Geo tickets for fabulous prizes. So, we can either buy the Heart Rupee and Energy Gem now, or if we wanted to wait, we could save up to get a 6th Geo ticket and get the Geo Jacket. The Geo Jacket is the best armor in the game, so it might not be a bad idea to do that. We are actually going to go ahead and hold off and bet we will get that after our next Geo Dungeon because it's going to save us some money. However, again, you don't have to do it. In Dale will actually be another area where you can buy some more armor. But with that, we're actually going to end things here. Next time, we're going to do things a little bit out of order. We're going to take that 3rd teleport and head to the Cosette region, which normally we shouldn't be able to do now, but there are some side quests that we can do while we're over there, including, as it kind of indicates on this map, there are, it looks like, 2, maybe 3 Geo Dungeons over there. We can't do all of them, but we'll see how many of them we can do. As always, thank you all very much for watching, and take care.